from my recollection of the 90s was, we would go to HMV, we would go to these big stores. How at that time did an independent store like yours compete against the HMVs?
Well, that's an interesting question. So it sort of happens in any industry where, you have these huge conglomerates, and they have deep pockets. They may have many locations, which sort of indicates that, they could get together and do this volume buying, get lower prices. So how does the little guy compete? Well, the bigger the corporation is, the sort of more, not loopholes isn't the right word, but the more niches they can't fill, because it ends up getting driven by some guy in an office who's not even in the store.
He's looking at numbers on a spreadsheet.
Sure. And that's how, back, I think it was Music World, that they showed me how they order. It's just by numbers. So it wasn't like, oh, this is going to be big next week. It's like, we sold X amount of product 1, 2, 3 this week, so we're going to order 2 more for next week. Like, everything sort of was based on sales and charts and things like that.
Forgive my ignorance.
Yeah.
Why, like, you wouldn't have done that?
No, ours was, and it's still a formula today. It's a lot customer driven. So I've been in music, almost 40 years altogether, and well, actually over 40 years now. And there are people coming. I get asked for 10 bands a week I've never even heard of. So it's a lot of it's customer driven. And the thing with independent stores is you'll note, even with the grunge thing, Sub Pop was a label that wouldn't have been carried by a mainstream store back in the day. And so a lot of the independent stores, because they have their, pardon the pun, ear close to the ground or whatever, you know what I mean? They're a lot closer to the music that's going to be big and these trends that are going to be big, that they will stock things and make actually the trends happen. So that's a niche, and it's a customer service thing. I remember one story was, I became good friends with Wayne Smith, who managed the large Sam the Record Man that was in the Tivoli here. And they had just opened a mega store when we came, and it was one of their flagship stores. It was just beautiful. But, several years down the road, he was telling me, we stopped taking Christmas orders in November. And I'm like, what? Like, we take Christmas orders till December 22nd, if we can get it in by the 23rd so people can pick it up.
Why would they? Why?
Well, that's the thing. So there, once again, this goes back to the corporate structure where they would order something, but it wouldn't be to the label or the distributor that would have it. It would go to head office. Warehouse. Head office would go to the label or distributor. The label distributor would ship to head office. Then it would come. They couldn't turn around a Christmas order to guarantee it, or with a reasonable expectation of it coming in. So they cut off November 1st, they would cut off ordering for Christmas, which doesn't make any sense at all. So, I mean, that's a perfect sort of nutshell example of how a small independent store, like if somebody came in and said, oh, do you have this genre music or blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no. And if a couple people more came in and we didn't have that or a certain artist, I'd be like, I'm going to research that. We're going to stock that for next week. Because something's going on. It's either viral, like when we're talking these days, it's like, okay, it's an Instagram hit, or... Are
you noticing that's happening these days?
Oh, yeah. It's crazy. And it's great because
you'll probably get like 3 or 4 people one day coming in and be like, oh, we got to get this.
Some things just spike. And the neat thing about it is it's not just new music. So you get a show like Stranger Things, for example, and then all these teenagers are like, Kate Bush running up that hill. I'm like, how do they know that? Because I don't watch Stranger Things,
right? That's your era. You're like,
exactly.
Twilight Zone.
I mean, it's neat that way. So not only is new music broken, like, there's no sort of trickle down radio effect where, okay, this is in high rotation on blah 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 FM. It's like it's the internet's out there, so anything's on high rotation if it becomes viral. Yeah. So, and it can be from any era. So what's really neat is like a lot of 60s singers, and there's different artists who are experiencing a renaissance. Yeah. Like Kate Bush, I think was the first number one. Yeah, and even country artists, it's genre spanning, jazz artists, old soul artists, because something gets picked up as a like I watch a lot of cute animal videos, and there's a Christina
doesn't?
Perry song on there, and then who I didn't know, but there's one song that's a female vocal. Chances are, if you watch 10 cute animal videos, it'll be on 8. It'll be the little snippet from that song that's on there, and it's like that sort of driving the market to a big extent now.
And it has such a power that people are coming in to buy physical copies of these artists.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Yeah, so an artist will be dormant in a sense, like we'll stock something, it'll be a great album and it'll just sit there. And then all of a sudden a year later, it's like somehow it's morphed into like this popular thing, so usually, if things are popular and on the radar, we'll get pre-orders for it, or it'll start selling within 30 days of release. But another thing that's interesting too is sometimes there'll be a digital release, we'll get asked for it, and we'll not get the physical format for like 3 months later, but people will still want to buy the vinyl 3 months later.
Right.
It's really funny. So before, everything was coordinated like to a T, where
for sure. Yeah, it used to be like the single would be out, it would go to the radio, and
exactly.
then everyone knows that on the 7th of December, this album's
and it would
coming
be in the store. So now it's like it's all over the place. So it makes it super hard for us to.
I was gonna say
to order and pre-order stuff, and
not to say like bringing fears into this, but like I feel like there'd be a fear of like going into a trend where like maybe you're like, oh, this is 100% going to be something. I'm sure this happens, and then it like ghosts on you.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and what was really scary during the pandemic was that we would have to over order stuff because the supply chain was so fragile.
Right.
So for example, okay, Drake's got a new album coming out, just pulling an artist out of the air. We can probably sell 10 copies of this, let's say, in the first few days. So let's get a month's supply. We'll get 20. But,
sure.
The problem being during the pandemic, because it was so fractured, not only in the manufacturing end, but the supply chain, was that you might order 20 copies and not see that for 3 months again. So we had to order 3 months of supply,
right,
because we didn't know when we were going to get restocked.
Yeah. So I bet the back room is just like a disaster.
You don't even know. You don't even know. Like under all of our record bins is overstock. And that's, Scott Bell, who owns Revolution Records, I think this weekend he's got another location opening in Dundas, which is kind of neat.
Great for him.
And he's opening in the old Records on Wheels location. And he's the same as me. I'm sure he just got everything out from under his bins and on his shelves in the back room. He's got enough to open a store. I got enough to open another store, but I don't want to. I'm past the time. I've done all the heavy lifting, and I just want to make Dr. Disc the one location the best it can be, kind of thing. So.
Well,